Welcome everyone to the GlobalSake Challenger. This is the experts LocTalk video series, where in each episode we bring in experts from around the world to tackle big global challenges and opportunities in the age of Agentic AI. Today I'm very excited to have Rafal Jorsky, who will also be training the next LocLearn upscale course on building Agentic AI solutions, applications for product and localization. This is happening in October. The format for this series is Snapchats over coffee, maybe for me here in the morning in San Francisco, and maybe for you, Rafal, in Poland, more of an herbal tea nightcap.
Yes, pretty much, yes.
Awesome. So I'd like to dedicate today's chat and today's big question to how can we train AI, agentic AI, to think multilingual, multicultural, multimodal. So we think that AI thinks in English. It reasons in kind of outside of language agnostic, with vector spaces, mathematical abstract representations of interlanguage rendering. But what we would like to do is to help it reason and weave in the regional cultural nuance into its analysis responses, and especially when it comes to agents that actually don't just respond to a prompted task like Gen AI, but actually do proactively do a project for us. Right, so there is a misconception in the industry today that, or has been for a while, that one of the biggest gaps is that we don't have enough non-English big data with which to train LLMs. However, we do know that LLMs today are very well capable of sampling data and, of course, rendering interlanguage translated data. With that, of course, with more non-English data, we can help AI render more accurately, more effectively returns for non-English prompting. And there is also a very beautiful saying. It's in multiple cultures, but Ludwig Wittgenstein, he's an Austrian-British philosopher, quoted saying, "The limits of my language are the limits of my world." Right? And so language is not just there to describe a reality, but also to construct how we perceive a reality. And with more non-English data ingestion and ability enabling AI to infuse more non-English data, we can help AI think more, expand its concepts of the world, right? Understand better the cultural nuance, and as well as return more regionally and culturally nuanced and more context replies and actions. And so these are some of the things I wanted to touch with you, especially now when agents are becoming more and more specialized in specific expertise areas, right? Whether it's legal or creative copy, as well as more outcome driven versus just replying to a prompt. And so there is an opportunity now with metadata, with other mechanisms, to help AI think more broadly and ingest and respond in a more accurate way to weave in the user intent, as well as the regional and cultural context expectations, right? So I'd love to hear your thoughts about all of that. There's a lot of different elements here, but how do you think about it?
Yes, so hi everybody, thanks for having me, Talia. So yes, it is all about the concepts, really. So it's all about the abstract concepts. Those AI tools that we have right now, so the fantastic LLMs, they truly amaze us with what they produce. They're able to produce something that looks like the product of human thinking. But what they do internally, they represent knowledge and very abstract concepts in a form of numbers. The embeddings, the vector that you mentioned, that we actually wrote about in the GlobalSake newsletter some months ago. So these all serve the purpose of modeling the knowledge. And truly, there is a misconception that those models think in a certain language, like English, because they were trained, they were taught by the material that was written in English. But what they are actually capable of doing is form an abstract layer of understanding of the concepts which are conveyed. In this case, English was the predominantly available resource, right, in terms of text that can be downloaded from the internet, but it doesn't necessarily have to be English at this point. After all, inside the computer brain, inside all those neurons here, these are numbers. These are mathematical numbers that actually represent some sort of very abstract concepts. And now going back to language and going back to the capabilities, it is all about the ability to then form those abstract concepts into, let's say, sentences or voice that is automatically generated, or any kind of different action that is possible to execute. Because right now, agentic AI solutions, they are capable of performing some actions of, let's say, creating a file, putting it in a dedicated folder on Google Drive, or sending an email that is not only writing it but also hitting the send button, and so on and so forth. So they are able to actually create some very specific output and some very specific actions. And not only that, what agents are all about are not just an interaction of question and an answer that we have with ChatGPT, right? So please, ChatGPT, write me the translation of this sentence, and we get something. It's not only that. It actually breaks down reasoning into multiple steps that can involve querying some knowledge base like Wikipedia or Google search, or verifying the current events, and guardrailing the outputs with respect to the quality. So AI can actually now do all these things, and it's really truly amazing what it can achieve. And going back to the language, it's true that language not only is not only the medium of communication, it also captures our thoughts very nicely, and it actually creates our whole world view. And even these kind of very abstract things can be modeled with AI right now.
And especially now with Google's, for example, Nano Banana, right? The new tool that can pixelate and render culturally relevant images, right? So you take an image, it used to be more rigid, and you can prompt Gen AI, right, ChatGPT, to render me an image that is fit for Mexico City, for this cohort, and so on. But with Nano Banana, we can actually pixelate each tiny nanobit of the image elements and just manipulate, right, or ask it to manipulate each of those elements. And so there's going to be a lot of, I would like to kind of weave in the human factor, because humans still, of course, and I believe will always be needed for checkpoints and for guardrailing, with their linguistic and regional and cultural expertise, right? It's beyond language. It's much more, how can we now render right fit returns in replies, AI's replies, but also in actions from agents that are regionally and culturally relevant, right? And so with those different mechanisms, what is your kind of take on the human in the loop, and how can machine and human continue working more effectively to enhance each other, right? Help AI really render a more relevant product experience for the diverse use cases and populations of the world. And what is it, and how do you see that in terms of right now where we are, and in terms of, let's say, 3-year projection?
Yeah, so I absolutely believe that humans will always be there. Humans are there to create the initial intent of what is to be done, actually. So AI is a tool in human hands. So the humans will probably try to shift their some of their habits and some of the ways that they are working towards using the AI tools for the sake of automating some processes. And also many people are actually working like this already nowadays. They treat AI as a source of inspiration, and that is truly inspiring, right, so to speak, because even in tasks such as coding, I am an engineer, I am an IT engineer, among other things, so I can understand when I lack the idea of how to express something, some procedure, what has to be done in the first place, and I ask AI just to give me some idea, which then I validate, right? So human will always be there in the process, and absolutely they are there to stay. So AI is a powerful tool in the hand of the humans, and AI itself can learn from humans, and that's just another very beautiful concept, that it's now all about gathering the data which is coming from humans, because that's invaluable. That's really what we are doing it all. We are doing those solutions to be close to humans, and the multicultural aspect that you brought up, that actually fits very well in this concept, because it's really hard to teach AI multiculturalism without the input from humans. But when the input is there, then AI can actually query these concepts that I mentioned and select appropriate use or appropriate idea that will be appealing and pleasurable to see by members of different cultures. So in translation, for instance, right, in machine translation, we for years we struggled with formality registers. So and that's just for the simple reason that some languages have them and some languages don't. In the latest cultural theme newsletter, we learned that in Japanese there are how many? 9 registers of formality. Yeah, 9. I also I am currently studying Korean, and I at this point, right after 2 years of studying, I know 7. Right, yeah. So there are some things which are encoded by language, but they correspond to very abstract ideas. And these ideas can be rendered into different images, into different words, and into different concepts which can be seen, validated, and really evaluated by humans. And these the evaluation that comes from a human being, that can be used for training.
Exactly, you touched on something very, very important, because there's always been a gap in translation with gap concepts, right, between in interlanguage, and with the Japanese having 9 honorific levels, Korean 7, in French and Spanish 2, in Hebrew 0. How do you render those concepts? And in fact, I would even say that with AI, we can actually, a lot of internationalization hooks or enablements that we would actually engineer into a system right now AI can now take care of those things. So there's that concept of code vibing, right? So having, there are some applications like Base44 and Cursor and Lovable AI that are able to create code and create applications for you. And Cursors, to my knowledge, has more INTN embedded. And when you can actually tell the agent, yes, to create an experience that is fit for this age cohort in, let's say, for Canadian French in Canada, geo equals Canada, lang equals French, sector equals legal, formality is in this formality level, right? All these and then formats, use this format, that format, tone, right? Tone in voice, because we know that today still AI is not very good with regional dialects and tonality and tones and voice, right? But as agents would become better and more specialized in specific areas of domains, we can start to have more opportunities. So thank you very much for that. And Julena, would you like to, what is the next gen kind of core big questions and top of mind themes?
Yes. Hi, Dr. Rufal. I'm Julina. I am a GlobalSake intern and also at my second year studying translation and localization management at MIS. So I've always interested in how AI is transforming localization. So one question that I've been stuck with for a while is AI hallucinations. I know you've been studying on building agentic AI applications for product and localization management, which is a definitely industrial trend. So I wonder, how can these tools help us really identify or reduce the AI hallucinations? That's my questions. Thank you.
Right, thank you for that question. It's a very good question because what is happening right now on the research side is that people are very focused on eliminating or at least reducing the hallucinations. There is a fun saying that I heard recently, is that hallucinations are not really a bug of the LLMs, but these are a feature of LLMs. This is basically how AI works, and that is because hallucinations come when there is not enough sufficient knowledge contained in the AI brain, or in cases where the AI brain has, for instance, contradictory information, right? Then it has to decide what is more probable. So hallucinations are in fact very common, and there is very strong research happening in the previous months that is there to eliminate the phenomenon of hallucinations on the level of the model itself. So we can expect that next generation models, GPT-6 for instance, right? I'm just guessing, right? We are on GPT-5, but GPT-6 and say Gemini 3.0, whenever it comes out, we can expect that they will hallucinate less. However, we have another strategy to deal with those hallucinations, and that's agents. That's agentic AI. That's exactly what you suggested. So agentic AI can reduce or eliminate hallucinations by breaking down the process of automation into individual steps. So each step along the way can be validated and can be verified and can be corrected also automatically, so that the output has very good chance of being hallucination free. Nowadays it's all about well, multi-stage reasoning and also explainable AI. So the models are we expect them to justify their decisions. There is a framework of thinking that breaks down all the reasoning into tasks and observations, right? So the tasks are those immediate small steps that we give to the AI tools, and observations are their interpretation of our task and their AI's knowledge that has been somehow extracted from their brain. And on each step along the way, humans can jump in and correct the model, but also the model can correct itself. So hallucinations are pretty much going to be eliminated, I believe.
Oh, thank you so much. That was a really refreshing knowledge point. I'm really looking forward to join this class with you to explore more. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Rafal, Julena. See you on the next episode of the GlobalSake Challenger.